Welcome. I am Miles. I am a volunteer genealogist at the Phoenix Irish Cultural Center's McClellan Library. This presentation is a tutorial on the use of the nationalarchives.ie website. This website is free to search and download records. You can access this from the McClellan Library or from a home computer with a browser and an internet connection. Our goal today is to understand what is available at this site and how to find it. Let's begin by reviewing the nationalarchives.ie homepage. The homepage offers access to all the archive's collections as well as links to visiting options, news, and an overall search function. The focus of this tutorial will be on the genealogy assets of the National Archives. Selecting the Research Your Family Tree link brings us to the Archive's Genealogy Introduction page, which explains their staff functions and gives a link to and a high-level overview of the contents of their searchable genealogy website. We will be visiting the circled genealogy website link in a few minutes, but first let's review the information behind the list of links on the left. Time constraints will only permit a high-level review of the information contained in these links during this tutorial. You are encouraged to visit the National Archives website and review them in detail at your convenience. Selecting Getting Started, we find a recommended list of the information a researcher needs to collect before starting a research project and how to proceed once the information has been obtained. Only a sample of the Getting Started guidelines are shown here. Next, let's select the Genealogy Records link. This introduction lists the record sets found in the Archive's Genealogy's record collection and provides link to the genealogy website and the individual record collection sites. We will visit and review in detail each of those collections shortly. A link at the bottom of the page takes you to an Ordnance Survey map of Ireland's counties. The next link takes us to a description of the Archive's genealogy service offerings. The National Archives staff does not conduct research, but they do offer on-site consultations with their professional genealogist staff members who will assist patrons in identifying which sources are available and relevant. This service is available only on-site and not via correspondence or telephone. The Archive does, however, offer a list of independent searchers who patrons could hire to assist with their research. The Genealogy Researchers page provides an extensive list of professionals who will assist patrons in their search for a fee. The list is found by scrolling down this page. Researchers are listed by their interest, area of expertise, and location. The Archive does not guarantee or accept responsibility for the performance of these individuals or companies. They are independent contractors. Next, the nationwide genealogy centers. By scrolling down this page, you will find a list of the various genealogy centers located by county across Ireland. Again, the Archives does not guarantee or accept responsibility for the performance of these organizations. They are independent contractors or volunteer organizations, and their services are usually fee-based. Transcriptions of the parish records for many of these centers can be found online at rootsireland.ie using a link at the McClellan Library or with a paid personal subscription. The next link takes us to a listing of recommended genealogical publications. Scrolling down this page, you will find an extensive list of published resources as well as off-site links to many others. The last information link is to the Genealogy Websites page. This page provides links to a variety of other non-National Archives genealogy websites. A sample is shown here, and you can scroll down for a complete list. Returning to the initial information page, we can now select the link to the National Archives Genealogy website. Here is the National Archives Genealogy website homepage. This website gives access to 5 internal record collections. the Irish census records for 1901, 1911, and the pre-1901 survivals, census search forms for 1841 and 51, which were used for proving ages with early 1900s pension applications, the 1823 to 1837 Tithe Applotment books, which is a register of Church of Ireland taxes levied on land occupiers, the 1914 to 1918 soldiers' wills, and a 1858 to 1922 calendars of wills and administrations. We will explore each of these record collections in turn. First, select the Census of Ireland. Here is the home page for the Irish census records available online. The 1901 and 1911 census are searchable in all 32 Irish counties. Surviving fragments and substitutes are also available online, and this page contains a link to read more about this part of the collection. The search link at the bottom of the page provides access to the 1901 and 1911 and other census records. The 1901-1911 search menu offers two search options. Records can be searched by individual name or browsed by place. Help links at the lower right corner of this page contain content information and guidelines for conducting searches. The name search menu has a pull down for selecting the year. Let's start by searching in 1901 by name for Michael Meely, age 50, of Ross Common. We get one result for Michael Meely in Cornasir Townland, Kiltoom Registration District, County Roscommon. It should be noted that on this site, exact spelling is required for both given and surnames. Surnames have a variety of variations and alternatives should be tried. Given names are often abbreviated. For example, William is often abbreviated as WM. Clicking on the surname will take us to the record summary. Here we find Michael, his wife Bridget, and 5 children living in House 12 in Cornasir in 1901. This summary page transcribes all the information found on the original household return page for this family. At the bottom of this page are links that take us to the images of the various original records. There are 3 types of original images available. The household return, Form A, which we just saw transcribed, the Numerator's abstract, Form N, and the house and building return, Form B1. Selecting the household return, the household return contains the same information found on the summary. It also contains Michael's original signature. And on this particular form, it appears that he completed the first 3 lines himself. Note that the location information is not included on this form, so you will want to record it separately. Also note the number on Form B, entry number 12, in the upper right corner of this page. Next, let's look at the house and building return. This document records detailed structural information on each house and the number of outbuildings in order to establish what class of structure each is for tax purposes. Occupant information is also recorded. For Michael Murphy's property on line 12, there were 4 outbuildings. See the 4th column from the left. The houses are assigned a numerical code each for the type of walls, type of roof, the number of rooms, and the number of front windows in columns 6 to 9. The walls were coded 1, meaning they were stone, brick, or concrete. The roof was coded 0, which meant thatch, wood, or another perishable. The rooms were coded 2, which meant there were 2 to 4 rooms. There were 3 windows in the front of the house. The sum of these 4 ratings comes to 6 in column 11, which makes this a second-class house. Columns 12, 14, 15 reveal that one family lived in 3 rooms, and the family consisted of 7 persons. Michael Meely is shown as the head of the family and the landholder, so he owned his own home and land. Next, we'll review the Numerator's abstract. The top section of the Enumerator's abstract provides detailed jurisdictional and location information across the top of the form as follows. County Roscommon, Roscommon's 8th Parliamentary Division, Athlone Poor Law Union, Kiltoom District Electoral Division, Cornaciro Townland, Athlone South Barony, and Kiltoom Civil Parish in the Athlone Constabulary District and the Kiltoom Subdistrict. Finding and recording all these jurisdictions and locations will be extremely helpful in searching for all the available records for this family. The bottom section of the form breaks down each family by gender and religious profession. Unfortunately, the second page of the enumerator's abstract showing the Michael Meely household was missing from the collection. But if it had been available, line 12 would have shown that one inhabited dwelling house contained one family consisting of 3 males and 4 females, all of whom were Roman Catholic. Now let's try browsing. We need to remember the jurisdictional information from the enumerator's abstract or find it elsewhere if we undertake our initial search by browsing. Using the place main search on Irish Ancestors, we search on Cornaciro Townland. We find the register's district is Kiltoom, same as the parish. This is not always the case. The Poor Law Union is Athlone. Now going back to the census browsing menu, we first select a year, 1901. Then we select County Roscommon. Then we select Kiltoom Registration District. And finally, we select Cornaciro Townland. By using the browsing method, we can see all the households of Cornaciro Townland. A partial view is provided here to legibly fit on the slide. Note that there are 2 Meely households that are adjacent. Selecting the second Meely household, we find an 80-year-old Bridget Meely living alone. It is likely that this Bridget is Michael's mother or an aunt. Below we see the layout of the menu for accessing the original images. Returning to the Genealogy website homepage, we can now review the 1841 to 51 Census Search Forms section. The Census Search Forms were used in support of the 1908 Old Age Pensions Act. The 1908 Old Age Pension Act provided a pension for eligible people aged 70 and over. It was implemented from January 1909 in Ireland. Proof of age was an essential part of the process of application for a pension. Because civil registration of births did not begin in Ireland until 1864, applicants had no official documentation to prove their age. It was decided that searches of the 1841 and 1851 census returns, still in the Public Records Office at this time, could produce acceptable documentary evidence of a claimant's age. The claimant had to provide parents' names and their residence in March 1841 or 1851. They also had to state the age they believed themselves to have been in the appropriate year. These forms were sent to the Public Record Office, where searches were carried out to prove eligibility. When a search could not find the claimant, the form is returned with not found or no trace written on it. Even then, you will get the claimant's version of his family members' names and locations in 1841 or 1851. Many searches were successful, and these can often provide the names and ages of every person living in the claimant's household at the time of the relevant census. Let's try a search. We'll search on Michael P. Murphy in the 1851 census in County Mayo. His parents were Michael and Catherine. The search resulted in a 2-page transcript of the search results. Page 1 shows Michael's current address at Woodland Cottage and that the family was living in Templemore Parish in the townland of Tawag Moor in 1851. BEG means beginning. The second page lists the search form details plus a limited census summary. At the page bottom is a link to original extracts from census return. The original image provides the details necessary for Michael to apply for a pension. Even if the census search had failed, the application alone would provide valuable information for tracing this family. Returning again to the genealogy website homepage, we select the Tithe Applotment book collection. The Tithe Applotment books were compiled between 1823 and 1837, listing occupiers of agricultural holdings. The occupiers were required to pay tithes to the Church of Ireland until the act was revoked in 1871. A book exists for almost every civil parish. It is useful as a census substitute, but only names of head of households are included. The books can be searched by name or browsed by location. Let's conduct a search for John Hogan in Neha Parish, County Tipperary. Selecting Search, we find John Hogan in Castle Street, Neha Parish in 1928. If we click on John's name, it takes us to the original record. The record lists John's neighbors in Castle Street, and that he occupied 7 perches, which is about 1,900 square feet, and paid a tithe of 7 pence. You can also browse the Tithe Applotment books. Select the county, in this case Tipperary. Select the parish, Neha. Finally, select Castle Street Townland. The result is a listing of the 77 occupiers of Castle Street. It is not clear if the list is in any kind of order, but Castle Street is a small area, so all these individuals could be considered John's neighbors. Returning to the genealogy homepage, we select the Soldiers' Wills collection. This collection includes wills of Irish soldiers who served in the British Army. The majority of the records are from World War I, with some from the 19th century. Also from 1899 to 1902 in the South African War. The collection is searched by soldier's name. We will search on Patrick Riley, who died in 1914. WO on the search menu stands for the War Office number that was assigned to each will. SN stands for the service number assigned to each individual soldier. Selecting Search, we find wills for 7 Patrick Rileys, their service number and War Office numbers and dates. We'll select the 1914 death date, which brings us to the original informal will prepared by the military. An excerpt is shown at the right. The enclosed document, dated August 1914 and signed by P. Riley, constituted a valid will. His name was Patrick Riley. He was an active sergeant. He was in the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Irish Rifles, and he died at Nouvelle Chapelle on October 24th, 1914. Patrick did not execute a formal will, so his informal will was based on a letter he wrote home before deployment. I will read it to you. Birdport Barracks, Tidworth, England, August 1914. Dear folks, just a few lines hoping yourself and Tom are going on well and in the best of health. Also all at home, who knows me or cares for me when I am in the war, I hope. I have sent a kit bag with some of the things in it. You can do what you like with it, or keep it in case I may come home in the ordinary case of events. And yourself give the photograph to Tom and anything you don't want. I have made out my will and all. Do it so I left everything to you, and if anything happens to you it goes to Tom. During my time as the war goes on, I have left you 1 shilling a day, so you will draw £1 10 shillings every month. That is all I can do. Goodbye, dear father, from your wandering son. Returning to the genealogy website homepage, the final National Archives collection is Calendar of Wills and Administrations. Calendars are available for all of Ireland from 1858 to 1917, for the 26 counties of the Republic from 1918 to 1920. The 1918 to 1920 calendars for Northern Ireland are on the Public Record Office of Northern Ireland website, or PRONI. The 1921 calendars have not been digitized. And the 1922 to 1982 calendars for the Republic are on the National Archives website at a separate location. Selecting the search menu, let's search for Mary Murphy, who died in 1858 in Waterford. We find an entry for Mary Murphy, who died September 11, 1858 in Waterford. Clicking on her name brings us to a detailed summary showing that her primary beneficiary and executor was Ellen Allward. If we select Image, we find an image of the calendar page containing significant genealogical information. Mary was a spinster from the Quay in the city of Waterford who died there on September 11, 1858. Her sister Ellen Allward, a widow, was from William Street in the city of Waterford and was Mary's only surviving next of kin. This concludes the tutorial on the nationalarchives.ie genealogy website. The best way to learn how to fully utilize this resource is to spend time doing simple sample searches until you are comfortable with the site and all of its contents, functions, and options. Make sure to read the more detailed descriptive information included on each record collection's initial search page. If you have any questions or wish to discuss this website further, please contact the McClellan Library Genealogy Center. Thank you. Please visit us soon at the McClellan Library.